Hey guys, Captain Roy here for Gulf Coast Boating. On today's episode of Roy on the Water, we're going to take you on a tour of a boat that provides excellent versatility for all around family, weekends, cruisers. Angie and I really love cabin cruisers. We do a lot of stuff with sedans and sports cruisers. And I've shown you all of those boats where you can actually live on a boat for a week or 2 weeks or a month. Take a boat to the Bahamas, whatever you want to do in those types of situations. But they can get a little cramped when you've got 12 people on board, when you've got family, kids, snorkeling, you want to fish a little bit, you really want to do some serious fishing. It's not really built for that. So what do you do when you want the best of both worlds? Well, Boston Whaler came up with a great boat that serves all of these purposes. You could spend a week on it if you wanted to as a couple, or you can take your entire family out to the sandbar and snorkel and spend the entire day on this boat, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, the 380 Realm. As we board the boat, we actually do have some room out here. You know, when you've got 4 motors across the back of a boat, you end up with not a lot of room, not a lot of stepping room. You don't really have a swim platform. Now, some versions are coming with a big giant swim platform out here, but Boston Whaler did a good job of having plenty of stepping area, so I don't feel like I'm on a narrow little footpath. I actually do feel I've got a little bit of space here. But the coolest part is, when you're in the water, you won't board the boat from the back of the boat. What you're gonna do, they've got a great scuba door entryway with a perfect little ladder that comes down, sets down in that little cubby hole there. Easy in, easy off, jump on and off, climb on. Really, really great way that they did that. And as we know, Boston Whaler, absolutely known for their big giant latches, big giant handles. Everything that they do is solid and thick and well made, well built. Look at these hinges. These are giant hinges here. Those aren't going to wear out and flippy flop over time. Really cool. I love the way that Boston Whaler builds a boat to last. There's that swim ladder I was telling you about. Look how thick that is. That is not going to wear out. It's not flimsy. But here's what's really cool about what they do. You've got this big, giant aft seat back here. Lots of room for plenty of people to sit down. Another thing they did is made this boat very easy to use. So you've got doorways that come in, you've got all your equipment, all your little storage lockers, little trash can, everything, fish boxes down in here is really good. Your shore power is easy to get to. It's not tucked into some weird space. You've got your breakers, all of that is really easy to get to. You don't have to go find them in a cabinet somewhere. Freshwater wash down. You've got your lights. Again, hopping in and off depending on which side you're on. You've got the scuba door over there, or you've got some steps over here depending on the tide height versus the dock that you're on. Now remember again what we're talking about with this boat, it's versatility. This boat has all kinds of different configurations where you can have seating coming out, sitting on the back, but also you've got all of this different bait is in here. Your ice is in here, coolers are in here. This lifts up so that you can get to all of that. You've got a door that lifts up. How easy is that? Now check this out. Look what Boston Whaler did. And they did these for all 3 rows of seating. They put in great flip-up seats. So now you're not dangling. You actually got some room to sit, prop your feet up, relax, enjoy the view, watch the kids playing on the rafts. This is really nice. And again, going back to what they did with these deep seats, you don't feel like you're sitting on a little tiny seat on this boat. No matter which way you're facing, big deep seats. I like the way that they did that. As we move forward into the cockpit, so you've got a real kitchen in here, a kitchenette, you've got a fridge, plenty of room in here, plenty of drawer space, all that's, you got a sink, this flips up, cutting board, you've got a grill in here, lots of space in here. There's a good amount of room here. This isn't just a little teeny tiny little cubby hole, just a little quick little grill. There's a lot of room here. You've got plenty of storage, slide out storage boxes, slide out drawers, little cubby hole for your knives and kitchen equipment, everything easy access and easy to get to. That's really nice. And I keep coming back to that versatility. We talk about comfort, spending all day on the boat, friends, family, especially kids. We know that kids can get a little irritated, frustrated sometimes, but also have the ability to be fishable. So again, I showed you the fish box, the little storage bait box back in the back, but also again, look, I can't stop telling you enough about how comfortable this boat is with all these flip up. There's a slot table that goes in here, but check this out. You got AC vents. So we all know somebody who gets hot when they're out on a boat all day. Well, imagine if they can come sit here and just relax with some cold AC blowing on them for a little while. It makes all the difference in the world on a 90-degree day, especially if it's a little stagnant air. So I really like the way that Boston Whaler is thinking about all the people who might be on a boat in any given situation. Really cool. Watch this seat turn around. So now we've got great family room. This seat spins around, can face this direction. So now you've got a great conversational area, which is really cool the way that they think about this. You know, Boston Whaler on the 320, the 380, they really do a great job of incorporating the entire family into the cockpit area. This can be a serious fishing boat. You can go out on this boat, you can get high speeds, you can run in this boat, but you can also sit and relax in this boat, which is really nice. I like the way that they think about how do we incorporate the entire family, where the kitchen area is incorporated into the dining area with tables set up here with air conditioning. This seat flips around again, like I said, you can have all of this enclosed. So I mean, this is almost like a cabin cruiser. It's almost like a sedan cruiser. Maybe it's not as plush as a sedan, but still, you get a lot of the best of both worlds in this boat the way that Boston Whaler did this. Of course, Boston Whaler is never going to skimp on the captain's helm. I love the way that they put the fold-down footboard here, which is really great because it gets you up high, especially if you want to put this bolster up and stand up. I like the way that they double-sided this so that somebody can be sitting here with their feet propped up. You know, Angie could be sitting here while I'm sitting here piloting the boat. We don't have to both be up or both be down. The seat is a very comfortable seat. Again, going back to that indention there where it keeps you in the seat, especially if you're going to be bouncing around, jumping around. I love the triple screens, redundant. You can flip these around whatever you want here or there. Great built-in Fusion radio. Everything is easy to access, easy to see. They've got great dual throttle controls. They've got a great joystick control. Trim tabs are easy to get to. Again, I can access all of this stuff without leaning forward, which is really cool. You guys know how much I pay attention to that. I hate when a boat puts everything out of your reach. Active trim is really cool. Look into that. That's really neat. Just everything is really easy to get to here. So I like the way that they did this. Of course, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on all this stuff here. Let's just say that Boston Whaler does everything top notch. There's not a single thing that I would need on here that I would care about that's not here. So this is really nice. The way that they laid this out. It's a lower dash, so it's not sitting up real high. So when I'm standing up or when I'm sitting in the seat, I have no problem seeing where I'm going, seeing what I'm doing, driving the boat. So this is really good the way that they did this. Big giant windows on the side, on the front, plenty of visibility all around the vessel. I can even see over down to the bow of the boat. So if I'm coming in to dock this boat, I can even easily see what I'm doing over there. Now, really cool idea what they've done here. This is not a flimsy door. This thing is heavy. Again, going back to those big giant solid hinges that Boston Whaler makes. This thing is heavy. It lifts up, it fits into place. And the reason that they do that, this is super cool, is because you can completely enclose this boat off. So now I'm protected from the weather and the wind. If you've got the isinglass around the back side of this boat, you are completely protected. That's what I was talking about before with the cockpit, where you can have the kitchen. If you've got this enclosed, this can get warm. Like, it's a little warm out today. I'm already warm just closing this door. So this is nice. Coming up to the bow, again, versatility. There's great little locker storage in here. We've got a separate anchor in here for beaching the boat, which is really nice. I like the way that they put that there, which is really easy to deal with. Again, big giant armrests, lots of seating, lots of armrests, lots of storage. But here's something really neat, what they did. Watch this table. So now we've got lots of seating around here. If we want to have breakfast out here, some mimosas, whatever you want, This is a really great place to sit in the mornings and the evenings, especially on a cool night like this. We've got our Fusion stereo components. We've got zones on this boat for the Fusion stereo, so you can have a separate music up here that's going on in the back of the boat. Just a lot of versatility. Again, I keep going back to that. There's a whole bunch of charging ports in here. DC outlet ports, so just very versatile, lots of storage. Going back to the versatility of this boat again, with this closed, with the full wraparound enclosure, you really can spend an afternoon, a weekend on this boat and feel comfortable. You don't have to be exposed to the elements, which is really nice. You've got heating, cooling in this vessel, very comfortable seating. You can relax in here. But what's really neat about this boat is it's not often that you find a real vessel like this that's really meant for fishing and sandbar and snorkeling and scuba diving and all that, that also has a comfortable cabin. But what Boston Whaler did was they wanted you to actually be able to spend a weekend on this boat and still be comfortable. I've got plenty of room in here. So obviously this isn't for living in here. It's just for sleeping, shower, head, little sink here, which is nice if you want to have a little coffee maker. But look at all the storage. You got plenty of cabinets in here, and then all of your components are protected in the cabin of this vessel out of the weather, which is really nice. This table will fold down, make a nice little bed here. Again, this isn't intended to be spending a month and living in here, eating in here, all of that. But if you enclose the cockpit like I showed you, you can actually make this boat a livable boat for a little while. A week in the Bahamas is perfectly fine. Plenty of room in the head, built-in shower, built-in toilet, electric pump, sink in here, more storage. This is perfect for what it's intended to be. All right, guys, that concludes our tour today of a Boston Whaler 380 Realm. This boat is listed for sale. Again, just call me directly, Captain Roy Bragg, 850-591-7581. Check out Edwards Yacht Sales website. We've got plenty of listings, all kinds of different boats. If there's anything you're interested in or any questions you have, whether it be chartering, fishing, sailing the Caribbean, anything like that, don't hesitate to give us a call. We'll be happy to help any way we can. Again, thanks for joining us on Gulf Coast Boating in this episode of Roy on the Water.